Pokemon Sword and Shield have been out for about half a month at this point, I think it is. And I have done just about everything in the games. And with those games comes like 80-something new Pokemon. So, let's go over my top 10 favorites today. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers for the games in this video, so if you want to play the game and haven't yet, then you should click off this video. But, anyways, I don't want to drag out the intro, so let's get started then, with my top 10 favorite Galar Pokemon. Dreadnought. Now, Dreadnought isn't really a Pokemon that I was particularly fond of when I first saw it in the trailers, which is why it's only number 10, but I ended up using it in my first playthrough, and it's a really good Pokemon, and I also really like its Gigantamax form. Dreadnought is... It didn't seem like that great of a Pokemon at first, but once I got around to using it, it was pretty awesome, like I said. It's a pretty cool design, but it didn't really stick out to me at first, which is why it's only number 10, but it's still a really good Pokemon. Grimmsnarl. Now this is a nice design. When I first saw Impidimp, I was thinking and hoping that it would evolve into a really cool looking goblin-like Pokemon, and it's exactly what we got with Grimmsnarl. It's kind of like a big goblin covered in hair, and it uses its hair as a weapon. It's a really cool concept. I used it on my main team in my first playthrough as well, and it was really cool. It was a really cool Pokemon. It also has a really awesome looking Gigantamax form, but it's only number 9, and that's because all the Pokemon ahead of it are just better, design-wise and in other ways too, as you'll see. Copperajah. I think that's how you pronounce it. Is it Copperajah? I don't really know. I don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon's name, but it's a really cool design, and it's an elephant Pokemon. A much better looking elephant Pokemon than Donphan in my opinion, and it's just one of my favorite designs in this region. And I also liked how Chairman Rose used it and its Gigantamax form in his team when you battled him. All this stuff is just what really makes me like Copperajah. It's just one of the coolest looking Pokemon in the region, but same with Grimmsnarl, the Pokemon ahead of it are just better. Jane has some really cool Pokemon designs. Dragapult, the pseudo-legendary of this game. And it's one of the cooler looking ones in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's my favorite pseudo, but it is one of the best, and it has a really cool concept as well. It's the Dragon Ghost type as well, which is the first since Giratina, I believe. And I really like how it shoots its pre-evolution Dreepy out of the little cannons on its head. And its pre-evolution Dracloak also has a Dreepy on top of its head. But this one has 2 and the cannons on its head, and with the signature of Dragon Darts, it shoots them out of those cannons as well, which is pretty awesome. Dragapult's a really cool Pokemon, and a very fast and strong Pokemon as well. It's just a really cool pseudo-legendary. But it's at number 7 on this list, because, well, you get the point. Toxtricity. A really cool concept, a really cool typing, the first electric poison we've gotten as well, I believe. And yeah, Toxtricity is just one of the coolest Pokemon in this region, which is why it's a bit higher on this list than the others. And that band that appears in the credits as well, I liked how it had both Toxtricity forms as well as an Obstagoon and a Rillaboom. And yeah, those little parts on its chest are supposed to be like kind of like a guitar, and I like the concept of its 2 forms as well. There's not really that many differences between them besides its design and a few moves they can learn. But I like the concept of it, like the form Toxel evolves into depends on the nature it has. That's a concept we haven't seen in Pokemon before, and it's really awesome in my opinion. Toxtricity is just a really cool Pokemon. Zacian, the mascot legendary of Pokémon Sword, the game that I played, of course. And yeah, it's just a really cool looking legendary. Its design is awesome, its stats are amazing. And I really like what they did with the mascot legendaries in the story this time. They're not just like, oh, you find them thanks to the evil team and then you catch them. No, they're just like these mysterious creatures that you see a few times throughout the game, and you're trying to discover what they are and like the history of the Galar region throughout the plot, and they help you in the ending. It's Eternatus, and then you don't catch them until post game. It's just the legendaries in this game are so cool. Zacian's probably one of my favorite legendaries ever. I can't say definitively right now, of course, but it's still a really cool Pokemon, regardless, which is why it's here at number 5 on this list. Phalanx, or is it pronounced Phalanx? I don't know. It's another Copperajah situation. But anyways, this is one of the really cool Pokemon concept that we've seen in Gen 8, kind of like a lot of the others on this list, but This one's one of my favorites just because its design is really cool. It's shiny, could definitely be better. But the Pokemon itself is just amazing. Like, I'm not showing its marching animation here, but it's awesome, and it's started a bit of a meme in the Pokemon community. It kind of has the same energy as the Furret walking meme, but it's still a really cool and funny Pokemon, whatever. Just like the next Pokemon on this list, but which is why it's higher on the list, because it's better, but, you know, this is still a really cool Pokemon. And from the moment I saw it, I'm just like, wow, that's really cool looking. And that's why it's so high on the list, because I had a really awesome first impression of it. And it can learn first impression. Coincidence? I don't know, actually. Snom. Just Snom. That's all you need to know. Nah, but seriously, Snom's just a really simple yet amazing design at the same time. It kind of has a similar energy to Grubbin, Pyukumuku, and Pincurchin, but Snom's probably the best of the four in my opinion, which is why it's on the list and Pincurchin isn't. But yeah, I just really like Snom, and who doesn't like Snom? It also evolves into a really cool Pokemon, and both of those Pokemon have really cool typing in Ice Bug that we haven't seen before. And also, for some reason, when I googled Snom, it showed a bunch of pictures of phones. Don't ask why, I don't know either. But that does kind of remind me of when I commented on a certain YouTuber's video. I was saying that Fion was the best legendary, but I misspelled it as phone. I just figured I'd bring that up because I haven't on this channel before. Yeah, it's dumb, I know. Corviknight, easily one of the best regional birds. Definitely in the top 3 alongside Staraptor and Talonflame. And I used this in my main playthrough as well, and I gotta say, it plays as good as it looks in Pokemon games. It also has a really cool Gigantamax form. Like, half the Pokemon on this list have Gigantamax forms, by the way. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite regional birds. It probably just barely misses my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time now. Which, by the way, that list has changed since my 2017 video. I'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, Corviknight's just a really cool looking Pokemon. I knew that from the moment I saw it, it was going to be on my team. And I also really like its pre-evolutions. Rookidee and Corvisquire are pretty cool looking Pokemon as well. It's just overall a very solid evolution line. And out of entire evolution lines, it's probably the best of the bird lines. I can't say for sure, but it's definitely one of the best. There's no doubt about that. Hey look, it's the thumbnail boy. You guys totally didn't see this coming. Number 1 is Wooloo. Here it is, it's Wooloo. What is there to say about Wooloo that hasn't already been said? Wooloo's just an amazing Pokemon. And actually playing the game makes it even better with how much it appears throughout the beginning of the game, like the one you see right as the game starts up, and the one that just kind of crashes into the slumbering world and you have to go in there and chase it and you find the legendary, all that stuff. And also the first gym, we have to hoard a bunch of Wooloo. It's awesome. And at the beginning of the end credits, you just see a bunch of Wooloo rolling across the screen. That might be the end of the credits, I'm not sure, but it's amazing either way. Wooloo's just an awesome Pokemon. And its evolution's pretty solid as well. Double, I used it on my main team. It was pretty good. And I have a pretty interesting set for it and competitive as well that I might go over in the future, I don't know. But yeah, Wooloo is just an amazing Pokemon. And that's why it's number 1 on this list. Wooloo is just one of the best Pokemon. I could probably even say it's on my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time now. And in fact, that's what I'm about to go over next. I'll briefly go over my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time as soon as the transition thing happens. Yes. So that does it for my top 10 favorite Galar Pokemon. What'd you think of the video? Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it and you're not subbed yet. And if you didn't like it, well, it's just my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments section down below. But anyway, let's go over a few more things before we wrap up the video. First of all, some honorable mentions. I didn't go over these before number 1, but I'm going to go over them now. Some honorable mentions would be the starters. Yeah, none of them were in the top 10. This overall isn't that strong of a starter set. Out of the newer Pokemon games, it's probably the weakest since Gen 5, especially the final forms only being pure typings. Like, why? Such a disappointment in my opinion. A few people have actually dropped their starters because they're not dual typed. I was considering dropping Cinderace, but then I didn't because of how strong it was. But yeah, all 3 starters, they're full evolution lines, except Wacky and Drizzile, are in honorable mentions. And also Zamazenta. and Sirfetch'd, and Cursula. Those are my honorable mentions. But yeah, also, I want to briefly go over my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. I'm not going to make another video on it. That'd just be a waste because my opinion's always changing. So I'll just briefly go over what my current top 10 is now. Number 10 will be Lucario. He was an honorable mention last time, but he's actually on the list now. Number 9 is Tyranitar. It's just my favorite pseudo, I'd have to say. And then number 8 is Wooloo. Yeah, Wooloo is on the top 10. Number 7 is Charjabug. I did have Vikavolt in the top 10 before, but Charjabug's my favorite of the line now. I still like Vikavolt, though. And then number 6 is Skarmory. Skarmory was number 10 on my first top 10. And then number 9 on the second one, but now he's moved up to number 6. Pretty nice. And then the rest of the 5 are the same as they were last time. Number 5 is Flygon, number 4 is Vaporeon, number 3 is Magnemite, number 2 is Typhlosion, number 1 is Raichu. And only 3 of those Pokemon aren't in Sword and Shield, being Skarmory, Magnemite, and Typhlosion. So, yeah. That's everything I wanted to go over. So, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Happy hunting! And yes, even though I'm the sheep killer, I would never harm a Wooloo. Don't ever think that about me.